Okay, I'm coming over here. I'm checking to see if the volume is kicked in. It is. All right, good. You guys should be able. Oh, let me try. There. Yeah. Okay. Good voice. Okay, whatever. Hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I am coming back at you with another Wargaming and miniature video. In today's video, we're going to be doing a lot of different things. I'm going to try to cover uh, a lot of different topics. We're getting started a little early. I'm up. I'm 99% ready to go. So if I have to take a break and go use the bathroom or something like that, we'll do it. But right now we're kicked in, we're locked in, and we're going to go ahead and do it. All right, so the first thing I want to say is I've got my foam cutter out. I've already started working on some tiles. I've already got a few of them out, but I saved the last one so that I could show you how I'm doing it. But before we actually get into that, I want to, like I said, this video is going to cover a bunch of different topics. The first topic we want to cover is the store news update. So I'm going to spend about 15 minutes talking about, oh, excuse me, burping, the store news. And if you've never been to a store news update, what it is we talk about what I've completed, what I'm working on, what kind of product I've gotten in, and what kind of supplies I've gotten in, and then a little bit of the news here and there. Now, I did get an email from Old Glory, Warlord, and Wargames Atlantic, Victrix. Okay, so I've gotten a lot of emails. The only one I had an opportunity to read was the Victrix one, which was telling me that the Roman bolt thrower is available for retailers. So I'll probably order some of those in the next couple of days because I'm really excited about the Roman bolt throwers. Okay, so that was news. Old Glory has some kind of sale. I don't know what it is. Warlord has a new game coming out. Plus, they've got their Pike and Shot Epic. So I don't know. They're going all in on this Epic. It seems like. Unfortunately, it's an odd scale, and I just don't like their scale. Let me think. Can't think of anything else about that. Okay, so what have I completed? What have I finished? Well, I have finished all those 15 millimeter Napoleonic figures that I was painting. I'm pulling them up right now. I was painting. You might not be able to see this. It's the lighting and the camera angle and all that. That's 4 battalions right there. I've got a 5th and a 6th battalion on my table. What I was planning on doing was a Napoleonic update, and I'll be updating those as well. So that's the entire Hanover Brigade, Kilmansig's Brigade. I've got the Jaegers, and I've got Bremen, Osterode, Lüneburg, Grubenhagen, and Verdun. So I've got all those battalions finished, which finishes that entire brigade, which I'm very happy with that. All right, so that's what I finished. Now, since I finished that, what I started working on was these tiles. I'm working currently on the actual map or the battlefield for Quatre Bras. I plan to do a rolling hills map that's going to cover this 4x6 table. And I'm going to do it in 1-inch tiles. 1 foot tiles, which when we're not playing the Quatre Bras, I'll be able to just take them and put them in one of my boxes over here, right? Which then I can just store under the table. I have tried making, like in my previous game that I made a table layout for, was Battle Group, and I did that for the Lafayette Bridge scenario, and I used 2 foot by 2 foot tile sections. And the problem with the 2 foot by 2 foot tile sections is, well, one, finding a box that you can put them in. It's hard finding a 2 foot by 2 foot box. And then with all the terrain and the hills and everything else, they don't fit back in the box they came in. So you have to expand, what am I trying to say? You have to find a couple extra boxes to put them in, which wasn't too much of a problem because I ordered enough of these. They come in their own little box, and then I could slide them back in. But then I would wind up having these giant 2 foot by 2 foot by 1 foot boxes full of tiles, and it's just hard to find some place to store them. Like in the garage, I've got them stuck in between my ping pong table. But yeah, how many times am I going to play that Lafayette Bridge scenario? Once a year, maybe, or once in a lifetime. I don't know, but I'm not going to play it enough that would warrant the amount of space that it takes up. I should have, and this is an afterthought, but I should have made those tiles smaller, and then I would be able to store them easier. So what I'm planning on doing with this battlefield is making them 1 foot tiles, so I'll be able to store them easily. This box, this Amazon box over here, I could probably put an 8 foot table in that one box, but I'm only going to be doing a 6 foot table. So there's going to be a lot of extra room in that box that if I ever had any other tiles that I needed or wanted, I could stick them in there. And they will fit directly under the table, so there should be no problems. Okay. Supplies. Some supplies that I got in was I got more of the MDF board, 1 by 1 foot by 1 foot, 3 millimeters boards, because I only had about 8 or something left over. So I went ahead and ordered a second pack, and these come in packs of 24, which is perfect if everything works out properly. this is a 4-foot by 6-foot table, which winds up being 24 square feet. So 24 of these should lay out, if I spread them out completely on the table, everything's good. So let me go ahead and just set this off to the side because we don't need it for right now. All right. I also was just going online to get some more Aleene's tacky glue because my other Aleene's is down to about a third of a bottle. So I figured I better order another bottle. And they had a 16 ounce or something. It's like twice as big as one of these bottles for about twice the cost of one of these bottles. And then I saw that it came in a pack of 3, so I'm actually getting an extra 8 ounce for the same price. So I went ahead and just got 3 of them because I use Aleene's tacky glue on a lot of projects. So, yeah. Only when I'm trying to get my figures or models that have a tendency to fall over, or basically it's a little more tacky. It has less liquid in it. It's also really good when you're doing paper or something like that that's susceptible to warping. The Aleene's is actually a really good glue for that. All right, I also got in these 2 packs of felt. I ordered felt a couple of different reasons. One reason is when I'm not using the bespoke tiles, when I'm just using the blanket, I want to have roads and woods and stuff and rivers and stuff like that. And in the past, I had been using, or I should say, currently, I'm using magnetic roads and rivers. But I saw a technique where you can use felt. Okay, this must be the stiff felt. Okay, this is the 3-foot by maybe 9 inches. The label's covered, so there's no way for me to tell. But unless I measured it. But these are kind of like earthy tones. And you can see that this is a very thin felt. And it's fairly stiff. Now this can be counter rolled, so it's good. It's fine. But mainly, my understanding is that I could actually glue and flock directly onto this felt. It'll be slightly flexible, so if I have a hill, let's say something like that, then that's going to fit and it's going to be slightly flexible. Now this is stiff. Stiffer than like a normal felt. So I was thinking about making some roads and rivers with the stiff felt just to see what it was like, and and if it would work. Now this should be soft felt. This was what I had ordered originally for under my buildings. I have a bunch of other felt sheets and stuff, but I wanted to get a new pack and cut it out perfectly for what I'm needing. Okay, it's double wrapped. I only need about 6 or 7 different pieces. Yeah, this is the normal felt that you would expect at a hobby shop or something like that. Yeah, it even has like the label that you would normally see. Basic felt, 9 by 12. One piece. Yeah, and this is what a building would go on top of, making a town square once I cut it. Yeah, that's perfect. That is exactly what I wanted. Just brown. It didn't have to be black or anything. Because I think brown would blend a lot better with towns and stuff like that. Okay, give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back. And what we'll do is we'll get started cutting on those tiles. Me and my runny noses. Oh, there it is. I was like, where is it? All right. Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing for the product we got in. It wasn't really product, it's more like something for me. But I got in my Litco order and it came with my charge arrows. So I got 20 charge arrows. That's good. Okay. I had these all leaning up against my boxes, and then when I decided to pull all the boxes off the table so that I could lay all these out, on the table, it all came crashing down. Okay, I'm going to need these. Here we go. Okay, let me turn on my hot wire so we can start getting warmed up. Okay. This is not exactly... Something's getting caught. There we go. It's not exactly a 2x2 sheet, right? And I've decided that I'm going to make all my tiles the same size as the bases. Okay, so let me try to explain this. This tile, this MDF, is going to cover the entire table. The foam squares are going to be on top of those around the entire table. But the foam is going to be cut in various ways. It's going to be rolling hills. It's going to be slopes. It's going to be flat areas. It's going to have roads. It's going to have rivers. The problem, or not really a problem, concern was for me to get a fairly significant hill I would have to cut this tile, this foam, down to the core. And if I did that, that's fine. And I didn't use these, right? Then there would be like a blanket or something underneath. So it would be like putting hills on a tabletop, which is fine, but it would make it harder to do the river, because then I would have to make a river piece and a lake that I would have to sit down on the table, and the hill would have to come up from it, and and I didn't want that. It would make it look like two separate things. I would have same thing with the road and the bridge and all that. It would make it look separated or not part of the same piece of terrain. So my thought was, if I was to cut this down, like maybe I cut it down on this side and then cut it up on this side, and it's missing that whole centerpiece where the river would go through. If I had it sitting on top of one of these tiles, then I could actually model and plaster and texture and everything the river, and the terrain would all blend. So that's the plan. And if I do that on one tile, I have to do it on all of them. That's not really true. I really only have to do it under the rivers. But I want to do it on every one of them, mainly because if they are thin, like if there's a low slope or it's like got a gully or something, I don't want my foam snapping, so I do plan to glue them down to these, mainly to give them strength. If you haven't noticed, I got something in my mouth and I'm trying to get rid of it. Okay, so when you buy these, or when I did buy these, they come with a flat edge on all four sides. This one maybe not so much, but it is, you can see the saw blade, but it is straight. All four of these sides are straight. Now I've considered the pink foam, right? I got some 1/2-inch pink, and the 1/2-inch pink is cut already 1 foot by 1 foot, and so it's actually already perfect. But I'm going to hold off on that. So what I need to do, because my foam cutter it doesn't have a 12-inch gap. It doesn't have a 12-inch, whatever they call that area. It only has like a 6-inch. So I don't have a Proxon. And even if I did have a Proxon cutter, I've been looking, And the Proxxon cutters don't have a foot of a cutting surface. They're usually like 6 or 4 inches. And so I can't use it. Okay. So I put this board in all 4 corners where the sides are flat. And it doesn't have to be perfect. And I'll explain why in just a moment. Okay. Like this looks like it's got a round edge right there. Okay, so now what I what I have been doing is I've been pushing this in from the corners about 1 millimeter or 2, just so that there's like a little, just so that there is a gap. I mean, I can see the blue along the edges here. So this board is not all the way to the edge. Okay, that I might have to concern myself with. There we go. All right, and you can see that they don't touch. And then I get out my hobby knife. And what I'll do is I'll cut this into 4 pieces, but it'll be rough. It'll be very rough. But that's okay. That's why I've got my hobby knife here. My foam cutter. And I'll show you exactly what's going to happen. So I'm going to cut right down the middle of these 2 boards. And not trying to be, overly... Just trying to be careful not to move my board. And I've noticed that this XPS foam has a grain. So right now I'm cutting with the grain, so there's no difficulty. It's like when you cut your steak. Have you ever cut your steak one way and it cuts nice and smooth, but when you cut it the other way, it tears it up? Well, that's exactly what's about to happen. It's cutting it nice and smooth along the grain. But now I'm getting ready to go up against the grain, and it's going to be like a nightmare. So I got to make sure I hold these in place. And I use the saw action mostly, up and down, up and down. So that It doesn't tear up too much. And I take it nice and slow, going against the grain, just because, not because it's hard. Well, okay, it is harder. Now this hobby knife doesn't go 100% all the way through. It's only going about halfway through. You would think it would go all the way through. That looks like an inch, right? Giving it the old rocky top. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Okay. So I got my 4 cuts. Not done. Flip it over. Putting these on just as a guide. Looks good. Now this should be an easy, straightforward, with the grain cut. Okay, and now this is against the grain. Now when you go up against the grain, it does damage the foam. I mean, you get like ripples and tears. That's why I'm going slow, to try to prevent any ripples or tears. But it's going to be okay, and I'll show you why in a minute. Come on, knife, get in there. Okay. Yep, that one looks good. Let's go ahead and cut it. my hand gets a little weak because I'm trying to grip it, and I have to push the blade down because this locking mechanism doesn't really lock very well. It's spring-loaded. So I use my thumb to keep it rigid. I mean, it'll stay out, but it kind of wiggles unless I push on it with my thumb. It's just my knife. This is actually a loaner. I'm not exactly sure where I got this knife from. Ever since I got it, I've been using it more than my other hobby knife just because of the angle and the grip. Okay. So they might or might not have cut all the way through from both sides. So what I do is I kind of test the waters, kind of wiggle them a little bit just to see if they'll just break on their own. All right. And that's okay if you get a little break marks like that. That's okay. Okay, I didn't go all the way through. I can... I had considered using like a jigsaw and going zap, but then I don't know if that would work or if it would cause too big of a mess or not. So I opted out of that. I could probably snap that, but there we go. Okay, step one. Get him in generally approximately 1 foot squares. Now here comes the tricky part. This was the factory square side. So what I do is I put one of those edges down. And I put one board on both sides. And I'm using these boards to kind of give me something flush to rest the tile against. And now this is the other factory cut side. So I'm trying to get the board to be in line. Okay, with this side as perfect as possible. You know, the closer the better. And then I have a clamp ready. And the front and, or I should say, you know, the top and the bottom, top, bottom, or vice versa, needs to be as close to possible. Okay. Then I double check the flushness of the bottom. This one looks good. So I clamp it as well. So I got both sides clamped. Now I take my hot knife and I press it against the MDF using the MDF as a straight edge to cut the other two sides. Because the MDF is not going to burn. You don't have to worry about that. Now I thought about just lining up one side with MDF, and then I realized that if I didn't do both sides, right? If I didn't do both sides with the MDF, then there's a possibility that I might cut it at an angle. And by putting two of them, I won't be able to cut it at an angle. And then I make sure the wire rubs against the MDF the entire way down. And that prevents me from making a mistake. So then we get a nice smooth cut on this side, a nice smooth cut on this side, and these two are already cut by the factory. So I should get perfect, or close to perfect, 12 by 12. And then I just repeat it. Yep. I did basically the same thing for my battle group map, but the difference was instead of using MDF boards for the base, I used the pink foam as the base, and then I put the blue foam as the hill slopes and the hills on top of the pink foam. In this case, I'm not using the pink, I'm just using MDF. Which should make it stronger. And there won't be any open fields or anything like that. Well, there's going to be fields, obviously, but they're going to be part of the hills. A nice smooth sides. Now this cutting the foam with the box knife does make a little bit of sawdust kind of foam flakes. The hobby knife doesn't do that at all. Right, you just get a perfect cut. And if you notice, I'm kind of like sliding my blade left and right. Mainly to allow the hotter part of the wire to cut the foam. Because if you use the same part of the wire, it will cool off a little bit, causing your cuts to go slower. Alright, that looks good. Alright, I've only got one more to go. Okay, there we go. Okay, that doesn't look right. Still doesn't look right. What's going on? What I'm saying, you want it to be as perfect as possible. But when you put your grass and all that other stuff on the board and texture paste and everything else, it's going to disguise all that. Okay, there we go. Again, slide the blade left and right. All right. Looks like the last cut to make the tiles. Okay, so I made my Quatre Bras map and I put a grid on the map that's 1 foot by 1 foot, which in my game simulates about 600 meters. Yep, that looks good. Okay, we'll turn this foam cutter off. Let it sit for a minute while I pick up some of this trash. This foam cutter's got a bunch of different ways for safety. It's got the, I can remove the blade from the power source. Right? I'm just pushing it back in there. It's got a on-off switch to turn the power on. Plus, it's got a disconnect from the power source. And then, of course, it's got the transformer. Now, I'm going to be needing this blade come the future. So, I'm not going to necessarily put it away, but I am going to kind of organize it a little bit. Okay. Now we don't need to put these boards down. I do want to put the foam tiles down though. Okay, I won't need to clamp anything for now. I might need to clamp the tiles together when I start gluing them, but not right now. Pick all of this up. Now, if I was putting sawdust, like if I was sanding it or something like that, and there was going to be a lot of little flakes that got into the air, I would definitely wear a mask. But when you're using a hot wire, you don't need a mask. Just do it in a well ventilated area because it does put off some fumes. But like me, I can't even breathe through my nose, so I should be okay. I'm just playing. Okay, so let's back this up again. I don't need to see my crotch. Okay, there we go. How's everybody doing this morning? I'm not really over by my computer to see the chat. I'm yelling at the mic, right? Because my head's like right next to it. This should be, yep, this is not fruit punch. Okay. This is strawberry banana. 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 I'm gonna have to move the microphone because you can see it's in the way from what I want to do. This is strawberry banana body armor, which is coconut water. And it has B vitamins, antioxidants, which is A, C, and E. Potassium. And all the vitamin Bs. It's yummy. Let me just say, it tastes great and it does the body good. So they tell me. Okay, so yep, I can go there. I'm going to move this so it's not in the way. But oh, hopefully you can still hear me. I just put it right there behind me. I don't mind setting everything on top of this blanket. There is a couple of things that I have on the table. One of them is another MDF board. that I might get rid of. Well, not get rid of, but pull it out from behind the curtain. There we go. So now everything should lay flat. Except for maybe any wrinkles in the fabric. So I'm considering not just making this for my personal use, which obviously I am, but I'm also making it so that I could take a box of tiles to a convention and then just throw the tiles out and have the Battle of Quatre Bras ready to go. Okay. Now it shouldn't matter how they're organized or what do you call it? Oriented. That's the word I was looking for. Because they should be all right. Are they less than? Is this less than 4 feet? Oh, look at that. It's 47 and a half. So I have a feeling that these tiles are not exactly 1 foot. They are not. Okay. Well, the tiles are the size of the boards now, which is perfect. Means there's going to be like 1/4 of an inch on all four sides, on both sides, and the length too, I suppose. So a thought went through my head from when I was making tiles for the World War II game. But again, those were 2-foot tiles, and they had a rough side, right? They had like a rough edge. And with the rough edge, I made sure I put that on the outside of the table. Now I was thinking about putting magnets in the sides of the boards so that they would snap together, like snap, snap, snap. But I don't think I want to do that. I don't think I want to wait, I mean, it sounds good, and it probably will help keep the boards be in line with each other and all that. but I don't think I want to worry about all that. I'm just testing the layout right now. I feel like there's a bump in the fabric right here. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's something you got to be conscious of. Okay. A little bit of a gap right there. Could be this tile. Or it could be that tile. Good. See, and if this tile is going to create a gap, because maybe it was cut at an angle or something by accident. There we go. That one's got a... Yep, there we go. It doesn't matter because I'm not looking for... I'm not looking for perfection. But I'm looking for close to it. You know? Now I'm going to be able to disguise these gaps with color. Okay. I'm happy with that. All right. I'm very happy with that. Oh my gosh. I'm guzzling this. But that's okay. I need to be hydrated. Okay, so now what I'd like to do is take like an overhead projector and like project the map onto this so that I can draw on it. But we got rid of our overhead projector. Yeah, we used to have one. I don't like that. That was the board that had the rounded edge. And having it on the outer edge of the map is okay. I could probably put it where the river is or something, but okay. Now I'm not cutting on these today, just so you guys know. Going to my map. Bear with me. Find my map. I put it under Marshals and Generals. Nope, wrong. Marshals and Generals, the folder. There it is. Okay. So I'm probably going to cut these boards. I don't know if I'm going to cut them while they're laid out in place, so that, or mostly some so that they match with their neighbor, but maybe not. Okay. And I'm also not going to not just because I write on this tile doesn't mean that's exactly where it's going to be. If that makes some kind of sense. There's going to be a road that goes through there. Because remember, everything is going to be colored. And the road will end somewhere there. Maybe a little bit more to the right. I'll have to do some measurements. But that'll go all the way up to about there, right? Approximately. This is an approximation. So there's a road. That's one of the roads for the Quatre Bras. It looks like it's going to hit the center of that tile. And then right along there. Leaning. Pretty close to like that. Okay, I might have to get around. Something like that. It's got a curve to go off this side here. This doesn't even count the rivers just yet. Okay, I got the middle. That's pretty straight. Okay. Something like that. And that's the Quatre Bras crossroads right there. Now on my map, I've got like where all the hills are and the slopes and the towns and all that stuff. Okay, there's a little river right there. And the river is going to be cut down to the core. I plan to do all the rivers on the core. Okay. Okay. The main stream that's running through there. Oh, I only measured to the road? Okay. Okay. How do I have that? Okay. Okay, I'm going back and forth on the map and stuff. All right. Okay. Secondary river there. Okay. Uh, Wait, is the road on that? Certainly. Okay, this is a hill. Of course, it's going to slope down. Of course, the river is going to have a major slope down to the bottom of it, of course. Another hill. There. Okay. You can almost see that from here, so. That's a hill as well. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, you guys are just watching me draw on the map. That's what I'm doing. I don't know if you can even see that with the glare. I do plan on, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe tonight or maybe some other time. I plan to cut these tiles a little bit at a time. And then once the tiles are all cut, then I'll glue them onto their boards. I don't plan to cut them while they're on their boards. Oh, there's a big hill in the north. Okay. 3. Oh, it does. Okay. I know there's a hill right here. Trying to see how it's oriented. Okay. There and there. And there. Okay. Oh, I didn't even do the lake. Okay, the lake. That's about right. Yep, that's where the lake is. And then there's a big hill in the middle. Okay, this is going to be a little tricky. Tricky dicky here. Okay. Yep. Oh yeah, across the board. Okay. There's a hill there too. But this one should be pretty much a low hill. Low hill. Whoa, low hill. Okay, I think the major things are on the table. Maybe not the town sectors and stuff like that, but I'll put them in. Um, Okay, that's low ground. I think everything's pretty much where it needs to be. Not the woods and all that. That's going to be kind of, once I get all the slopes in, then I'll have an idea where I want to put the fields and the low ground and all that kind of stuff. Okay. I don't know if that camera can really pick up what I'm putting down. I don't know if it glares. Okay, you can kind of see it. I didn't write it really thick or anything. I just put it kind of just a note, really, notepad. So where you see the hills, the lines coming off the hills are kind of the length of the slope. Some slopes are steeper than others. But there's no, to be honest, there's no real hills. I mean, there's some really gentle hills. This is a gentle hill. And this is like one of the only real hills is the one over in this corner over here with this town. It's really gentle. Everything is very gentle. So I'm only playing with 1 inch of foam. So it's not like I've got these mountains or, giant hills. It's all going to be very, not even the size of a figure. You're going to put a figure, your miniature on there and a miniature on the other side. You should still be able to see them. You know? Give you an idea. That's a French battalion on the battlefield. Going to be tight, but Quatre Bras was a little tight anyway. I want to get to cutting the foam right now, but I don't want to do that right now. I kind of want to let it rest a little bit. Let my mind kind of think a little bit about it. Before I start chopping up the styrofoam. Now remember, this map is based on a Google map. I actually took the Google map. Okay, I took a battlefield map of the area, and then I took a Google map and I scaled the Google map to meet the battlefield map, and the roads and rivers and everything were exactly where they needed to be. Both of them matched, so I was very happy with that. And then I took it and I turned just a little bit because I wanted this road to be going straight and not this road. This road on the battlefield map was going straight across, and this road was going at an angle, so I changed that because that's not how the attack went. The attack went pretty much like this. And so I did that, and the battlefield map had where the woods were and where the troops were deployed, but the Google map it's a modern map, the woods were missing, and there's actually a housing development over there where the woods are supposed to be. And then I scaled it, I zoomed in, scaled it so that I could make 600-yard squares because my scale is 1 inch is 50 yards. So 12 inches is 600 yards. And so this is a 600 yard per square map. If I could have made this map 6 foot by 6 foot instead of 6 by 4, if I could have made it 6 by 6, I could have played out the initial morning attack. But because I only have 4 foot to play with, I'm only going to be able to play the afternoon battle. Because there's a farmhouse right here, and there are a couple of objectives off of the map that the French took in the morning. And then in the afternoon, after the ground dried a little bit after the rains, they pressed on. They were anticipating a whole corps, First Corps, I think. They were anticipating First Corps coming to their aid because Ney asked for First Corps to come and assist him, attack the Brits on the flank. And Grouchy said, we need you. So he got conflicting orders to go to the left or to go to the right. And he marched one way and then turned around and had to march the other way and wound up not showing up at either battle. Yeah. This hill probably doesn't even need to be there. This is why I need to think about things, because it's so low and so inconsequential. So I'm going to model it, but it's just going to be a little, just a little beep. not even going to be a major hill. It's just going to be a little bit of a speed bump, a little bump, boop, you know. But I put it on there just so that when I'm cutting all the tiles out and I'm doing my undulating terrain, I'll know that, okay, this area I should make just a little bit higher than everywhere else. Now this low ground, I don't know how low I want to go. Maybe a ½ inch, because we've got the river at 0, low ground at a half, and then the hill at a 1. So it'll be like ½ inch elevations. So this area will be like close to ½ an inch, and then that'll be an inch. That's what I'm thinking. But like I said, I'm not in any rush to get this finished because I still have like a third of the miniatures for Quatre Bras still need to be painted. So, I mean, I've got a lot of them painted and a lot of them based, but I still got a long ways to go. I still got a couple more months at least of painting. Okay, I'm just going to pick it all up. I'm going to put it in a box. I'm going to store it and work on it little by little over the next couple of weeks. As I work on it, I'll let you know the progress and I'll show you what I've done and stuff like that. But for right now, I'm gonna let you go. You guys have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.